Welcome to My Anonymous Friend. Now, here are your hosts, Tammy Cox and Jennifer McCullum.
So talking about one thing that's important in social media and being a social media influencer is branding.
Yeah.
Branding
is so important.
It is important. It was important before, but I really didn't know it was that important. And now with technology, now with being on social media, I see that branding is a big part of who you are.
Yeah. And if you think about every super successful business, they have a very clear brand.
Their
And
mission.
it's very precise brand, and it's very clear so that there's no confusion.
So before, would you call, like, when we were trying to, apply for jobs back before social media, would you think a mission and vision was a brand to these companies?
Well, it depends on the company, because most of the time they want you to adhere to their brand. It's the company that creates the brand. So it's like, okay, if you go to, say, Apple, they have a very clear brand,
Yeah.
right? You get a very clear picture of who Apple is.
Yeah.
And think of other companies like Nike. You get a specific picture in your head when you hear those names. They have branded themselves so well.
So well, yes.
So when we think about how that relates to us as an individual brand, even though we are individual marketers, right? We don't stand for this big, huge company like Apple or Nike, but we do have a brand, and it's specific to who we are as people, what we're about, what people think of when they think of us.
Let's share the definition of branding, because that's what we're really going to be talking about today is branding. And if you don't know what branding is, you're about to learn some really good tips.
Yeah, it's promote a particular product or company by means of advertising and distinctive design.
There you go. So let's get into it.
Yeah. Let's talk about the 5 pillars, because this is how we defined a brand as far as like social marketing.
That's what's so important. And I know what branding is. I knew it being a social media influencer throughout the years, not all 9 years. But when you brought up pillars, I was like, okay, so that would really break it down and help people understand. So it kind of explained why the pillars, what it does, because when you think about branding, people are like, I don't know my purpose. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. But if you break it down into these pillars, it's going to help you be successful.
Exactly. So when you think of a brand, you as a brand, your 5 pillars would be the things that most define you as a person.
Yeah.
Right? Those are the
Ooh, I know what defines me.
Tell us your
I
pillars.
would say like the main distinctive thing
5 pillars, yeah.
wasn't the top, my top leadership.
That was God, you said God?
Oh, no, but I know the 5.
Oh.
But what was that main thing in before? Yours is teaching.
Oh, you're talking about the umbrella.
The umbrella,
Okay, the
'cause you wanna
umbrella.
start-
Yeah, so I got this from the book, The One Thing, and I highly recommend it for any entrepreneur, but really anyone who wants success in life.
Yeah.
The One Thing is a rad book, but it talks about how every person kind of has this one umbrella defining thing, right?
Okay.
And so mine would be teaching. So coaching, the podcast, everything I do. I was a homeschool mom for many years, but the umbrella would be teaching.
Yeah. Okay.
And then your umbrella would be
Leadership, because I had 60,000 distributors on my team. We're doing a podcast. I have written a book, and what's crazy is the branding will always change, but there's 5 specific things that go with your branding.
Yeah, typically the umbrella is over your lifetime.
Yeah.
So
Leadership.
Leadership is your branding over your lifetime, and mine has always been teaching. So then we go down from the umbrella, the 5 pillars that come down from that. Okay. And your 5 pillars are?
So God is number 1. I have my husband, wife, mother, beauty enthusiast, and woman empowerment.
Yeah, those are your 5.
And share your 5.
And yeah, mine are now, because you have to understand that the pillars change.
They do.
They're not always going to stay
I
the
was
same.
not always a beauty enthusiast.
Right. That developed over time. So know that your pillars are going to change. I used to be a homeschooling mom, and that was a huge pillar of mine because that's where I spent the majority of my time, at home schooling my kids.
And it's things that you have fun with, right? Your pillars are things that you always
typically
have fun
right.
with.
Some people are in jobs that they don't necessarily love, and maybe they don't put that in their 5 pillars, but they pretty much should. Like,
Well,
if you have a job, you want to do your best to enjoy it because you're there the majority of your time. So try to enjoy it.
Yes.
But your 5 pillars should be the things that define you most. So it should be where you put your time, your money, your effort, your focus. Yeah. So mine would be wife, mom, coach, and fashion and beauty enthusiast. So these are the places,
and they are different. I just found out fashion and beauty is different because
fashion is more the things you put on your body and the way the whole ensemble, and beauty is really more narrow to
hair,
like makeup and hair.
Yeah.
So like, I was a hairstylist for 20 years, and in the beauty industry, it was all things hair, skin, and nails.
Yep.
That was the beauty industry.
See, I'm like, no, I'm not about the nails.
I know. I did it for you once, and you had them on for a little bit.
I do love them, but this shit just costs money. Like, just like
mine don't. I do them myself. I mean, they do cost money. The stuff does cost money.
Time is money. Time is very valuable, and I'm not going to be like, do my nails every 2 weeks.
But here's the thing. What's important to you, you will always find time and money for. And that's the thing. So the 5 pillars are really defining what's important to you.
I'll always find time for God. I'll always find to be a wife, a mom. And beauty enthusiasts, when we say that, like we said, hair, makeup, skincare, fashionista over here with fashion. And so doing that has to be fun. Doing that.
It's fun for us.
It's fun. But when you brand yourself, when you do it, you're going to make money at it if you have more fun at it.
Oh, you're so right. Whatever you do, if you're having fun doing it, first of all, it doesn't feel like work. We say that over and over again because it's true. Mm-hmm. And then second of all, you're going to attract more like that. So people are going to be drawn to you when you're just having a good time, right?
So once you find your 5 pillars, then where do you go from there? Because you have to start branding yourself. Now that you've found your 5 pillars, you broke them down, they can change all the time. It doesn't have to be anything. Like she said, she was a homeschool mom. She was a hairstylist. That's not even on her pillars. Mine is beauty enthusiast. I wasn't a beauty enthusiast until like 4 or 5 years ago. So the thing is, they're always going to be changing. But now that you have your 5 down, what do you do to grow your social media network?
Yeah. Well, the first thing I would do is write a bio. When people come to your page, you want to give them a clear vision of who your brand, right? So you could put it in your bio. Your picture has to represent, your 5 pillars, but you kind of want to paste it everywhere so you keep you on track. Yeah. And it should weave in and out of your business. So in your posts, in your videos, whatever content you're creating, in whatever posts you're speaking about or speaking on, it should revolve around your brand. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't speak to other things that are important to you, but it just means you want to stay consistent, that those 5 things are what people will see from you.
Definitely.
So they come to your page, they read your bio, there it is, black and white.
The bio, that's a good thing because that is the initial thing that they will see when they come to your page. But what I did want to share was you have to, with doing the bio, now you go on to the main huge platform. Mm-hmm. When I see bios, I love reading them because when I see like beauty enthusiasts, oh my gosh, okay, they're exactly what realm I'm in, and now I will watch them. And it's so easy to break it down. That's the beauty of
branding, right?
Yeah.
Branding is so important because then when someone reads that in your bio, they're like, oh, I'm into makeup too. Oh, she gives all these tips. I need to follow her.
Yeah.
You're going to add value to those people and you're going to draw them to you.
The thing that I always said from the beginning as a leader was your followers and the people on social media are going to fall in love with you first before they fall in love with anything. And then once you build up your following, you can brand yourself in so many aspects of life that these people will be genuinely there interested in you, right? Because they fell in love with you.
And that's why too, when you're on social media, you have your brand. It's very specific. You're speaking to your brand all the time. You want someone to be able to, when you come to mind, they think of you according to your brand. Okay. And so you want to put that out in all your content, whether it be in reels, videos, in posts, in stories. You want your brand to be so stapled into their mind. And that's just about, like you always speak on, is consistency. Put it across.
It is consistent.
Yeah. Put it across and do it on a regular basis. So I know some people, different companies, they kind of have a pattern for their posting. So Monday will be Motivation Monday. Tuesday will be.
Oh, yeah. I've seen influencers.
You know, so they have a day where they focus on one little piece of their branding, their pillars.
Yeah, and then when they're focusing on that and they're doing that, what it's doing is it's causing each day to have a subject, right? Each day to have its own platform, or not its own platform, but its own, like, okay, so
it's a plan.
Tuesdays is fashion, Wednesdays is beauty, and then Fridays is, fun. So you're going to attract a certain amount of followers for each day.
Yeah.
And so, but you have to be consistent with that.
And I think what it does is it keeps you on track, right? Because if you know that it's Motivation Monday, it keeps you, I don't know about you, but I am not a naturally organized person.
And I'm very organized.
So I know you're a firstborn. I'm a second, just flat out. So for me, it keeps me organized. Okay, what's today? Oh, it's Motivation Monday. It keeps me on track with my own brand. And then you do that consistently enough, it's just habit.
But the only thing is being consistent with it. But if you brand yourself and you do that, like you pick those days for those certain things, then that's going to be beneficial for you and you're consistent at it. So you're going to gain a bigger network. But I want to just go into one thing that will build your network beyond measures and show your true, like, okay, so let's say mine is leadership and mine is beauty enthusiast. So I created a makeup group. It's so important to create things on social media platforms so that people come to you and people are interested and people learn from you. So I created a makeup group. And in this makeup group, I give tips, I give tricks, I let people post their makeup videos, I post mine. I ask them, polls and things like that of what they want to see, what's trending out there. And what's so important to realize is when you create these groups or you are in groups, that's knowledge, that's wisdom that you didn't have before. Because what did I say? Trending. You always.
Wait, so let me just speak to this too. The reason why a group is so brilliant that you created a group that you manage and you've positioned yourself as the expert. You're giving them tips. You're telling them about all these. They're looking at you as the expert because you're teaching them.
Yeah.
So you not only have this group that you lead, but now you're giving them tips. You're teaching them. You've positioned yourself as the expert, and that's what you want to do in every business.
Well, there's so many free things out there and free resources that people just need to take advantage of. There's so many groups on social media platforms. There's so many things on YouTube. Yeah. There's so many stories. There's so many things on Instagram and TikTok showing you how to search it. Search up. This is what you need to search up. Branding. And you're going to get all that information, but people don't want to, do the work or search it up to find them. That's how I was at first. That's why I'm sharing that. Some people don't.
You don't know that you have to know the importance of it for even wanting to brand. So if we're speaking to people who are just at the beginning, like you were, you didn't know at the beginning.
And I was like branding. I was like, I just have no filter. I'm just doing whatever on social media.
Yeah.
But sooner or later, I found what I loved doing, and that became a brand.
Yeah. I mean, we always have a brand, but it's about highlighting your brand, and it's just about order. It's about organizing your order and knowing What's the most important thing to
Yeah.
me? It's the same thing that I teach about the friendship circles. It's about knowing who's in what circle, right? To prioritize that which is most important and that which is least important, to let it kind of fall away. Like, why am I keeping up with this? It's the same with branding. Like, what is my niche? What am I so good at? What do I love? What do I get fired up about? That's creating your niche. And the more niche you get, they say in business, the more successful you are. So it's about niching down. So I want to go over those 5 different ways. I want to go over the 5 different ways to build a brand.
To build that social media network.
Yeah. So you have the first one,
We
which
talked about groups.
yeah, but you talked about one that really helped you to
Yeah.
really
So-
expand your following.
There's so many groups out there. So with whatever you are into, whether it be homeschooling, makeup, fashion, there are hundreds and thousands of people on social media, and some create these amazing platforms, groups within platforms that have so much to give you. I would get in as many groups as possible, share your things as well in that group so you can create a name for yourself. You're just going to start getting followers within those groups. And when you search those groups on Facebook, make sure it's just not in your country. It's everywhere. Make sure that you are reaching everyone, because you could change a life like that. Like, I know contouring changed my life, changed my makeup game. So the groups is getting as much knowledge and as much wisdom from so many different aspects and so many different people out there. Because one person may have a trick this way, but it doesn't work for you. One person has a tip this way, but it doesn't work for you. But you find one eventually that does. You want to go into the second one?
Yeah. The second one would be live videos. So this is the one that
I started with.
you started with.
And I only had 4 people on when I first started. But guess what? When you're consistent, it can build up. But live videos are people building a relationship with you.
Yeah.
They're seeing you. They're not just seeing posts. They're seeing actual you live, and it builds that connection and that relationship. So they start trusting you. And when you have someone that trusts you, they're going to buy what you like. They want to be, not that they want to be you or they're comparing you, but you inspire them, you influence them. So when they fall in love with
you become real too.
Yes, you are real. But that's why I said lives are so important.
Yeah, it's like, think about what TV and movies were to us. Now social media is growing to that level.
Yeah.
To
The Kardashians are real to me.
Yeah. Right. You see them enough,
live.
right?
I'm like, okay. And not that to say that I trust them, but I'm just saying, like, when you see people that are influencers enough.
If they told you about a product that changed their life, you probably
never in my entire life have I bought Skims, Kylie's Cosmetics, or anything Kardashian. But not to say if I felt like there was a good product that I would.
There's a lot of people that do.
There's a lot of people that do. And not to say their brand is bad or anything, but what I'm saying is I trust them. I just am not going to spend money on.
It's just not the things that are important to you.
No, I want to spend money on food. Like, I'll go to a restaurant and spend $400 on food.
That should be your 5th pillar.
I will go to a restaurant and spend $400 on food, but I cannot buy myself an outfit. I'm wearing my company shirt right now. Like, hello. Like, I'm not a fashion. You are a fashionista. If they looked hot, damn, on things.
I will spend money on clothes over food any day.
But my whole point was, like, I trust them. If I have millions and millions of dollars, I might spend the money on some stuff for me, but I'm not just going to go out of my way to buy something. But for me, I hope people aren't looking at me like that. I hope they trust me, they love me, and they want what I have.
Right.
So, but if you have the money to spend it.
Yeah. So the next is just trends, right? Following trends.
And we were having this discussion before we came on, and you were like, trends. And I was like, it's not the same thing as doing the TikToks and Reels. What the trends do is, so I did my powder contouring, right? My powder makeup. And I was like, the next week it started going to contouring sticks. So you want to follow the trend on whatever's happening and stay with the growth. So that when you're like doing your fashion, and I'm like, okay, you need to go do a reel, and you need to go to the store and put outfits together, because that's the trend. We want to see outfits together on people. but necessarily doing the work that would be the next thing. But yeah, it's just following the trend, watching what's trending.
That is work. Going to the store and trying on clothes, that is work.
This is
I
what
hear
the next
what you're
thing.
saying.
That's the next thing. Talk about the reels and TikToks and lives and stories, right?
So reels and TikToks are a massive way to grow right now.
Yep.
We know that is trending. It's massively trending. So where you grew your audience, your following on lives, that's not necessarily as big now as it was back then. But
TikTok's the biggest platform.
But now reels and TikToks, those are such a huge way. And I've gotten into those more than anything because first of all, they're fun to me most of the time, but also
it's just a lot of work, but she does a damn good job.
I mean, it is a lot of work, but when you're going with the trends and you're trying to build, that's what you want to do. You want to go with that. So, and it's another way for people to experience you. Unlike a post, back in the day, it was just posts. There was no videos. There was no stories. It was posts. Now we have the ability to connect even more because we have videos, reels. You get to bring out different sides to yourself. And the more people see you and all the different facets to you, the more they're going to like you, the more real you're going to be to them, like we already said. What's the last one?
The last one, well, what I wanted to say on that is that no matter what you do, there are 8 billion people in this world. If you believe that you can brand something and go out there and do it all, you can do it all. It doesn't matter. So have that belief that you can do it, but also know that there's so many people out there, whether there's 4 people on your video or 5 likes or 6 comments or whatever it is, like keep going and being consistent and believe that you can do it because there are so many people out there and you can reach all of them. The last one is to have freaking fun, to make it fun.
Everything gets to be made fun. You can make anything fun. I truly believe that. When I croak, I want to have fun croaking. I want to enjoy every second of it.
She's weird. I just want to die in my sleep.
I mean, even if I die in my sleep. Have you ever watched Really Big Fish? Oh, it's so good. I love the way he goes out. He goes out. You got to watch it. It'll change your life. I want to go out with just so fun. And I want everyone to laugh after I transition because
I don't want you to die. So can we not talk about that?
I'm going to.
I know.
Here's a little FYI. We all are.
My pastor says 10 out of 10 people die. But if you're having fun, we're having fun with branding. We're not having fun with death.
Okay. I am going to have fun when I die.
I don't want to talk about
you
dying.
We won't. Thank you so much for listening to all of our branding tips and tricks. Branding is so important.
Not dying, okay? Not dying.
Dying is so important. Do you want to live in this meat suit forever? You didn't come wanting to live in this meat suit forever. Anyways, we love you guys. Thank you for listening. Hopefully this was super informative.
Hopefully. The shit was.
It is, but hopefully you listen to it all the way through. You get so much out of it and it grows your business massively. May this touch your business in such a massive way that it just produces for you tenfold.
Yep, that's all we want.
We love you guys and we will see you next time on My Anonymous Friend.